Before we get into this review, we have to address the elephant in the room, and I have to offer my disclosure. The cost of this custom PS5 DualSense controller is really high. The HexGaming Rival controller starts at $250 for a basic build, and that comes with very limited customization. And at around $290 for the premium edition. It will just go up from there. For this murdered out build that you see in this video, it will run you $302 for all the customizations that I got with this build. I did a full max out of the controller and it came to a massive total of $335. To me, that's absolutely wild, but they are one of the first DualSense custom controller makers out there. To be fair and offer a comparison, a fully decked out AIM DualSense controller will run you about $350, but it will take them 10 weeks to ship that out to you if you get their back paddles as an addition to your customization. It's just the way the market is right now, and it's all a supply and demand type of game. Us gamers will be playing with manufacturers for a while. Ultimately, my recommendation off the rip is to wait until more of these become available. Then the price will definitely come down. Customers are going to pay a premium for early access to a fully customized DualSense controller until they do. However, if you have the tools and the know-how, you could absolutely order yourself all of these components from extreme rate and customize your own controller for a fraction of the price. I'll leave a series of links in the description if you want to check out Extreme Rate's customization and modules for yourself. Extreme Rate and HexGaming are kind of one and the same, so ultimately you just pay a premium to have HexGaming build you the controller, or you could just order all the components for your current DualSense controller and make the modifications yourself. I built this controller directly on HexGaming's website and they sent me this build at no cost. So full disclosure, I did not pay for this controller, but that in no way affected my review of this controller in this video. These are my honest thoughts, and HexGaming did not influence my review in any way, and they didn't see this before you did. Now let's dive into this video. The custom professional controller market is going to be really competitive pretty soon. The DualSense HexGaming controller has me thoroughly impressed with their turnaround time. I ordered this custom controller directly from them, and within 5 days, I received shipping notification. A couple of days after that, DHL had this thing in my hand. This phenomenal delivery time sets HexGaming apart from other customized DualSense controller makers, because you can wait weeks for them to ship those out. Another thing that sets HexGaming apart from the other manufacturers is that they decided to do something unique with their business model, as they are selling pre-built controllers directly on Amazon. That's like unheard of, because you're not gonna catch Scuff or AIM controllers or Battle Beaver selling their controllers on Amazon. One thing to note, as of this video, delivery times on these types of orders is much slower in comparison to doing a completely custom order on HexGaming's website, so I'd recommend going that route. I can see this changing as HexGaming ramps up the production and adds more inventory to their stock on Amazon and their Amazon store, but at this time it's slower than if you would just custom build it on their website. As that inventory begins to increase, this will allow them to begin to offer Prime delivery on more of their pre-built controllers. At this time, Prime delivery isn't available on those pre-built controllers, but that will change eventually. So if you're in a hurry, you should use their custom builder on their website and place your order through there and, get exactly what you want. Not only is that good, I would recommend that you build out your own custom controller on HexGaming store anyway, as you can get exactly what you want, since this controller is really, really expensive. And if you're gonna pay that much money, you should get exactly what you want. And since you're paying that massive amount of money for this controller, let's talk about what you can customize and how you can build the Rival to your liking. The faceplate of the controller has a limited amount of options right now. You can go with a color, pattern, or a chrome option for the faceplate. I went with the color option, and my selection came out with a soft touch design. It feels great in the hand. I really like it personally. You can do a pattern, which has a couple of hydro dip designs that look pretty nice from the online design preview. And you can go full chrome, which probably isn't the best for me, because I can see that thing just gathering a ton of fingerprints. I don't like the look of fingerprints personally, and since you got your hands on this controller all the time, that's inevitable. The D-pad and face buttons have color and chrome options, which give you the ability to select from a pretty good amount of matte and chrome colors. I went with black on both, and I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the color coding on these buttons. It looks really good. The custom cutout of the PS button on the DualSense controller has been completely replaced by HexGaming logo, and that comes in either black or white. I like the return of a clear button. I hate the PS logo button on Sony's OEM DualSense. This makes the new DualSense feel very familiar in your hands and more so like a beefed up DualShock controller. You know that you're reaching down for a button. I always found myself confused if I was pushing that logo button or not. It just feels really reminiscent of the DualShock controller, if you can catch my drift. The touchpad is made in color or pattern. This is to aid in matching your touchpad patterns if you went the route of adding the faceplate in a pattern in building out your controller. Again, I went with black here to match the aesthetic of which I was going for with my selections of this controller. I really like this matte black kind of murdered out design, and that was what I was seeking with this, since all of DualSense controllers, except for the red and the now black that are available, are white. So you can tell that this is custom. The option and share buttons come in color or chrome options. I just went with color to try to keep the soft touch matte finish of this controller design going. All PlayStation HexGaming controllers come with a 6-in-1 interchangeable thumbstick that offer 3 different heights, which come in either domed or concave builds. You could also have them made in black or white. Those same color and material options are available for the left and right thumbstick bases as well. The L1 and R1 have color or chrome options, same with L2 and R2. Again, black on both of these as well. At the time of this video, the back case of this controller has some very limited selections right now. Colors, chromes, and 1 textured option is available at launch. Therefore, I would highly recommend that you go the textured route and get that back because it provides the best in-hand experience in my opinion. And that is no exception here. I just don't understand why they don't have multiple color options, because the Extreme Rate you can order white, red, and green for yourself. Maybe those will come by the time that you see this video, and by the time you hit the link in the description, those might be available. But at the time that I did this video, only black was available. The texture back I have in this video feels great and is really graspable. The soft touch feeling paired with this texture gives me a much more substantial grip on the controller, and I feel like I have control. I never feel like I'm going to drop or lose grip on this rival controller by HexGaming like I do when I'm playing with the OEM DualSense controller. Now on to the stars of the show, and probably why you came to this video. The rear K1 and K2 programmable paddles on the back of this controller are placed in a way that feels natural to your grip. You'll pick this controller up and you'll hit the ground running. There's no, getting used to it or learning how to use it or practicing with it. You'll just feel right at home. It's really easy to use and reprogram on the fly to map custom buttons in any way, shape, or form that you would like. I like that there are 2 paddles on the back, but I really wish there were 4 on the back of this. I hope HexGaming has a 4-paddle backed DualSense in the works that we will see soon. I really want 4 on the back of this thing. It's gonna be awesome. But in the meantime, the 2 back paddles are good and they will improve your gameplay almost instantly. They're clicky and responsive, and I mean, this in and of itself is worth it. I love these 2 back paddles. Another note, remapping is included with your build and you don't have to pay anything extra for the ability to make on-the-fly adjustments. A lot of companies out there make you pay for a remap chip or pay extra for some sort of module that allows you to magnetize to the back of your controller so you can reprogram. That is not the case with HexGaming, and I think they went the right way in this decision. And I think it's gonna be helpful to you out there as you learn to figure out how to use a custom controller like this if you've never had one. HexGaming gives you the option to add fast shot hair triggers to your rival build on the L1, R1, L2, and R2. I had to have these, so I included them in on this build because this is a feature you'll definitely want if you primarily play first-person shooters like I do. Don't add this $30 feature if you play other types of games that include like driving or racing or sports, where gradual actuation is required, as the travel to actuation is nearly instant and it doesn't allow for gradual movement. And this is one of the reasons I refuse to drive in Verdansk, as it is hard to make gradual speed changes. It's literally 0 or 100 for when I'm driving in Warzone. I really recommend fast shots if you're always in some sort of Call of Duty lobby or playing first person shooters all the time. It definitely helps with reaction speed, and you'll get the drop on most folks, and you'll win way more gunfights. The Rival controller by HexGaming can be used with the PS5 and PC in either a wired or wireless configuration. Just make sure to update your DualSense firmware and have the latest Sony Compatibility software installed on your gaming PC to ensure it works. I've heard a lot of issues with compatibility because of Sony not updating or making available the drivers that are needed to play on PC, so you may encounter some issues there, but that has nothing to do with HexGaming. It's more so a Sony problem. Before we move to close this review out, I do have some recommendations to make the Rival controller better. If HexGaming is seeing this video, I would like them to give us 4 back buttons. I would love to have 2 more paddles further down on the grip, so I can use my ring fingers for some other actions as I play. Moving, you know, per se like a K3 or K4 buttons down on the grip of the controller would be an awesome addition to this controller. So this is the type of thing that I would like to see HexGaming do. The K1 and K2 buttons are perfectly placed for my middle finger. I would love to have some K3s and K4s down here. Like this controller, the DualSense controller, is made for customizations. So maybe thin this one out, put it up here, and then drop 2 more down on this same module back here and have 2 more buttons. That would be amazing, and that would make this my go-to gaming controller if I had it. The next thing is more of a preference recommendation to HexGaming, and it carries forward from my Edge controller review. If you'd like to see that, hit the card up here and you can check that out. It's the DualShock version of their customization. I love that controller. I'd like to ask them to make the fast shot buttons more into a digital trigger press. The fast shots actuation feel a bit mushy, and I'd love to have a mouse click feeling that you know, I've had on previous custom controllers from other manufacturers. That's not to say that this is bad, because it is not bad, as it performs just great as it is. I just like to have a more crisp click experience. One thing I would like to kind of make a guess on why HexGaming went this route is because, you know, a lot of streamers are going to be paying for controllers like this, and these controllers have no clicky sound. Like, you're not going to hear that in a microphone, and that makes sense to me why they made that. But then again, on the back, you can hear the clickies. The paddle, you know, actuations, you can hear those clicks. So if that's not a problem for them to have, let's have a little bit more crisp press on the triggers and bumpers. And the final thing that I would like to ask of HexGaming is them to give us gamers an increased thumbstick tension option as well. I can only imagine having this available on this controller, because if you could increase the thumbstick tension on these, and then you could make the on-the-fly adjustments with the thumbstick types and lengths, I mean, this controller quite literally would be the perfect setup for any professional gamer or, you know, gaming streamer or something like that. And in my case, it would just be an awesome feature to have to get more dubs on in Verdansk. So, I mean, it is what it is. I lied. This is the actual last thing. I'd like to ask HexGaming to decrease the price of this DualSense Rival controller. $250 starting price point with no customizations and just different color buttons is pricing a lot of really great folks out of the gaming scene, because it's such a high starting price. I don't know why it's so high, but again, I think it's because they are one of the first custom DualSense controller makers out there that are gonna get this controller to you quicker than anybody else can. But that's no excuse. I foresee this thing coming down significantly in price, considering you can get a DualSense controller yourself for 60 bucks. And then, like I said earlier in the video, if you have the know-how and the tools to build your own, you can buy all the individual components for like another 50 bucks. And within $100 or $120, you can have this build if you're capable of building it. So with that said, I understand that HexGaming needs to make money, but that is a steep cost there. I mean, $200, maybe $250 to get this build, but to go to $250 to $350 that's crazy. So again, I know HexGaming, you guys are a company and you want to make money, but please decrease the price of this so more people can get their hands on it. At this point, customers are just going to have to deal with paying more because of the limited availability of custom DualSense controllers. And that's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's business, I guess. If you're interested in pricing and availability of this controller, I will leave it linked in the description to HexGaming's website. That is not an affiliate link. So if you go through there, I get no kickbacks based on that. I will also leave the pre-built options link to the Amazon link. Those are my affiliate links. So full disclosure, if you click and shop through those, I get a little bit of a kickback based on your purchases without it costing you anything in addition. It's just a way for you to help support content creation here on this channel. And it gives me the ability to bring you this type of coverage. You know, not necessarily this one because it was sent to me without cost, but I would have bought this anyways. It was just, they were nice enough to send it to me without any, you know, strings attached, with no stipulations, nothing. They said, here's this controller, review it, give us your honest thoughts. And those are my honest thoughts. The quality of it is fantastic. You're gonna love this controller if you have the money to buy one. If you have the patience to wait for the price to come down and then buy this thing. At $200 or $250, this thing is absolutely the controller to beat. That's it. I mean, right now, you know, with my limited access to other custom manufacturers out there that don't have anything available, this is gonna be the controller to beat. Well, that about does it for me in this one. If you enjoyed this review, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I am Tomas, and I will catch you in the next one.